All right, folks. Good evening. And as usual, I will read to you the last 7 daily inspirations. And then you guys can choose one of them, and then we can go from there. All right. The September 16th, achieving peace by simply allowing the truth to shine. September 17th, you will never be judged by anyone's truth. September 18th, exchanging judgment for forgiveness and gratitude. September 19th, viewing this world through eternity's eyes. September 20th, raising our vibration by eating a plant-based diet. September 21, you are the creator of the world you see. September 22, our thoughts transform the world we experience. Any of those do it for you guys?
The one about exchanging judgment for peace or something.
Or forgiveness and gratitude?
Yeah, that one.
All right. Okay, this is the September 18th daily inspirational message. The condensed version, it's 2 paragraphs long, and it's exchanging judgment for forgiveness and gratitude. Okay, here we go. Paragraph 1. Today, when judgmental thoughts try to enter our mind's gate, let us decline their entry into our kingdom. We can decline their entry by forgiving them and thus refusing to sacrifice our time, focus, and energy to them. With this in mind today, let us practice offering forgiveness and gratitude to judgmental thoughts and everyone involved with them. We offer forgiveness because we now know that the judgmental thoughts and those involved are simply offering us the opportunities to see what delusions we're still holding within as real. We give them our gratitude because they are showing us where, within our heart and mind, we're still supporting the ego's judgment-centric, fear-based mindset as being more real and valuable than our eternal loving essence and nature. This practice helps us take back control of our own mind by aligning it with the loving mind of God. The quicker we can regain control of our mind, the sooner we will be able to exchange the false, the ego's judgment-centric, fear-based thoughts for the truth, the love of God. Paragraph 2. Today, our goal is to exchange judgment for forgiveness and gratitude. Can be broken down into 6 steps. First, let us catch ourselves as quickly as we can when we find ourselves aligned with the ego's judgment-centric mindset. Second, let us stop investing our time, focus, and energy on these thoughts. Third, let us forgive all those who are involved with these thoughts, including ourselves for even entertaining such thoughts. Fourth, let us offer gratitude to everyone involved for helping us realize that we no longer have to support a mindset that does not support us. Fifth, let us practice remembering ourselves that as God's creation, we are worthy of the peace of mind that forgiveness offers. And 6, let us thank our life experience for giving us the wisdom to now be able to consciously choose in alignment with the mind of God, in alignment with love, forgiveness, gratitude, instead of the ego's judgment, fear, and pain. Okay, exchanging judgment for forgiveness and gratitude. Okay, so I'll basically go point by point in the steps. How to forgive, how to get your judgmental mindset to turn into something like forgiveness and gratitude. Okay, so the first step, let us catch ourselves as quickly as we can when we find ourselves out of alignment with the mind of God, basically. Okay, so the first step is simply recognize that your mind is out of alignment with the mind of God, where it belongs. So any thought that is unloving in nature is a sign that your mind is not where it belongs. Okay, your mind belongs along with the energy of love and all of love's expressions, such as kindness, forgiveness, compassion, joy, peace. And so the first step in shifting from judgment to forgiveness and gratitude is to realize when we're supporting thoughts that are not supporting us, when we're supporting judgment-centric thoughts. Okay, so First, we realize, okay. Then the second step, let us stop in this. Okay. Then once we find ourselves in judgment, the way to end that line of thinking and to kind of like block the line of thinking is to stop investing our time, focus, and energy on thoughts that are not supporting us. Okay. So we realize first that our minds are somewhere not aligned with love. Okay. When our minds are not aligned with love, such as fear-based thinking or judgment-centric thinking, then we simply recognize that and we stop putting our time, focus, and energy into those thoughts. Okay. The third step is so we forgive all those who are involved with these thoughts, including ourselves, for entertaining such thoughts. And so we use the tool of forgiveness to let us let go of those thoughts that we were so focused on the dark thoughts that we were focused on. So we forgive ourselves for the misperception of those thoughts. We forgive our brothers and sisters. And by doing so, we begin to release ourselves from that darkness. And then fourth, let's offer gratitude to everybody involved. And so after we've forgiven ourselves and others, we thank our brothers and sisters because all they're doing is showing us when our minds are out of alignment with who we truly are. And so whatever the ego says is happening out here, what's really happening is that your brother and sister is helping you see that your mind is not aligned with God. And so we thank them for that practice, because the more we can practice going from the out of alignment state to the alignment state, from out of alignment to alignment, from out of alignment to alignment, the more natural and normal it becomes to be in alignment. So all those times where the ego says condemn, we say, no, thank you. This was just a practice opportunity, so thank you. Then fifth, let us practice reminding ourselves as God creations, we're worthy of peace of mind. Okay. And so we just remember that we offer them our gratitude and that we remember that we're worthy of that peace that forgiveness offers us. Why? Because God is love, right? And so we can only be what God is, right? And so we are that love, and we are expressions of that love, right? So peace, joy, compassion, kindness, these are all expressions of love, but these are all expressions of our inheritance as love's creation. So all these emotions that are aligned with love, they are our inheritance. But for us to enjoy our inheritance, we have to choose them. You have to say, oh, this is my inheritance. Okay, let me use my inheritance. Let me not turn away from my inheritance. And then 6, let us thank our life experience for giving us the wisdom that we now have. Okay. And then the last point is simply whatever your life experience is, okay, whatever that is, it has brought you to this place where you can replace judgment with forgiveness and gratitude. So all that life experience that the ego would have you put you down for, tell you that you're not spiritual enough, that you're not good enough, that your brother or sister are not worthy of your forgiveness. All that is life experience. And all that life experience has only helped you remember that you belong in alignment with the mind of God. And so everything was that the ego condemned us for was useful to us in reminding ourselves who we truly are. And so if everything that happens to us is useful to help us grow, heal, and awaken, to help us slowly align with the mind of God, then we become appreciative of that to source. And we no longer carry our past or those people from our past with any sort of judgment, because now we know that every life experience will in some way, shape, or form help us heal, grow, and awaken. And so that's the long version of the explanation, which, by the way, interestingly enough, I made the video for this today, the new video for this specific lesson. It's in my YouTube channel, came up, put it for 5 p.m. today, so 2 hours ago. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, any questions or comments on how to exchange judgment for forgiveness and gratitude after that explanation? I know
No,
it's
that was a good, that was a good one. And not a coincidence that I picked it if you put a video up today.
it's 2 hours ago. Yeah, check it out. 2 hours ago. And give it a like. Okay, any other comments or questions about this? Or do you have any life experience right now that you're kind of carrying with judgment and you want to replace it with forgiveness and gratitude?
I'm the one who asked for that, and it's because I, once again, I seem to forget what I'm supposed to be doing and came home and got mad at my daughter who was not home, just got mad to come home, the house and the dog and all of that stuff. And so I gave her well, we started with phone conversation and I wasn't friendly. Perhaps the problem was I didn't get to eat all day. And when I got home, I still didn't get to eat because I had to let the dogs out. The dishes were a mess. I had to do the dishes. So I did end up, I think, being hangry and unpleasant, although we were not face to face. So while you were, explaining all those things, I was starting to text her an apology that I was angry because I don't want to be mad. I just want help. I just want help. I want her to help. And, she thinks she's doing enough and I should leave her alone. And I feel differently. And it's just a difference of opinion. But yeah, I was pretty mad. So now I'm forgiving myself for being mad. And I'm forgiving for not living up to my expectations. I don't know if the gratitude's going to get here eventually. We'll find out, James. Probably not. But but at least I'm trying to cut it short quickly, rather than tearing it out. But yes, I was definitely, my mind was not aligned, not loving, just pissed. I wish there was a way to short circuit it before I went ahead and, texted. That would be better.
Okay, go ahead, Isabel. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
comment in a second, Wendy. Go ahead, Isabel.
Well, I can relate to that, Wendy. I was upset this morning with my daughter same way. Sometimes, it's getting up a little bit late and rushing at the last minute to do things and coming to school. Myself also, quick, because it's gonna be, the gate's gonna be closed and we live so close to the school. And I see sometimes, students come at 6:30 to school, 6:40, 6:45, and we live so close, 5 minutes away, and we are arriving at 7:17, 7:20. Class start at 7:25, supposed to close the gate. And it's always like in a rush. I was like, this morning, so upset. I said, how can you be so inconsiderate? You don't care about making me upset, making your father upset. And, I was saying to her, how nice it will be if you will be the night before having your things ready. I was looking for a notebook. I was looking for, I was in the bathroom. I said, listen, in the evening, because looking for your notebook took you like 20 minutes there in the evening. So I was upset. I was like, she cried, she was close with me and me too, because I said that cannot happen again, because it's like almost every morning, me getting stressed because we're going to arrive to the school late. And then before she left, I said, I apologize. I apologize for this rough morning. And she said, Mommy, I apologize to you too for making you upset. And later when she showed up, because I was like that, oh my God, I started tearing on my way back home. And she arrived at 2:20, her father was pick her up. And I came close to her to give her a kiss, and she was still like a little bit stiff, some little bit cold with me. But I'm going to talk to her about it, because we should not be having this stress in the mornings, and I want to have myself also to talk to her that way, too strict. But sometimes it's needed. Sometimes I feel like, our kids nowadays, that we don't touch them, that we don't spank them with anything. Years ago, my mom would show me the shoe. She would go, you want one of these? You want one of these? I was like, no. Okay. So otherwise it will be with one of them, and go like, oh, okay, mom. So whenever we will see with her eyes strict, like, we go like, okay, what is that you said? It's missing. It's because, nowadays, if someone gets spanked, they call 911. But no, Latin moms, they still spank kids and they tell, now call the police because we both want to call it. And the kids go, we're going to call. Okay, you want to call? Let's call together because that's being abusive to your mother. I deserve some respect, so it goes like that. Anyway, so that's why we try sometimes to be like soft in our talks and our interaction. The kids take advantage of us, they laugh at whatever, we say. And I think we have to have a conversation where it will go like, it's, let's agree. This is what I want. This is what is happening, but this is what I want. And emphasize on what we want and how it's going to make us feel. It's going to be so nice, it's going to be more peaceful, you're going to feel more relaxed with me, myself as well. And you become with this habit because soon you're going to go to college, blah, 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 and I trust that you don't need to have your alarm clock ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and postponing you for 5 more minutes or 5 more minutes, because sometimes kids go like that. 5 more, 5 more, 5 more. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Anyway. but thank you. I would love to have the tool, I don't know, written in a wall in several places where it says, let's exchange judgment for compassion, judgment for, I don't know, what you said, peace, love, grace,
Forgiveness and gratitude.
for forgiveness and gratitude. Because whenever I had some hit moment, it's been like, hey, I don't trust you. Hey, because the other day was like that with my girlfriend. So where it is this, I don't know where it goes. We need to practice and practice and practice until it becomes a habit. I think when we're at peace, more like thinking about it, okay, every time I have a judgment, I'm gonna give gratitude, forgiveness. Every time I have a situation, I have to like make it a habit. So when it comes a moment, I will know. It's like a mantra. It has to come. I don't know. I'm gonna write it in my t-shirt or something. Because when comes a moment that it is like that, I don't know you guys, but then it's like, it's not that easy, our ego is the one that jumps more, thinks I'm right, thinking that I am right, but I'm right with a little bit of a energy that instead of bringing together, sometimes goes in ways that we don't expect.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here, because I keep forgetting.
It's okay. You're the first mother in the world who's ever gone through that.
I'm not alone in this.
Getting to school late with the kids. Okay, let me start with Wendy first. Okay. Yes, we have to, whenever we start to feel that a little boiling start to happen, and we start to get a little bit off center or away from peace, let us simply remember our life experience. Okay, where do our judgments take us? They take us nowhere we want to be, right? Where does our anger and resentment and frustration take us? It takes us nowhere. It delivers to us nothing we want. Okay, so when you start to get that little bit of anger in your mind, when those little thoughts start to penetrate your mind, right? Like I don't know what are those little bugs that eat into the wood? When they become like little termites, those judgmental thoughts, and they start to eat into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Just practice recognizing when you're starting to lose your peace and ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want to come from this? And then start to take the steps in the direction of what you really want. And so let's say with you and what you were saying, right, Isabel, when you're always late to school with a kid. Yes, set it up the night before, and have a talk with your daughter. After she seems to be pretty open, and say, listen, don't we want peace? Don't we want to have a good morning so that we can be at peace in school and not have to think about what happened this morning or how we were late and stuff like that? There's ways that we can achieve that state of peace. So help me find that way. That's how the Course in Miracles got started. Help me find that way. And so a way you can do it is, starting to put everything in place, or waking up a little bit earlier, or going to sleep a little bit earlier. And you can figure out ways to take time off from your lateness. And you can do it's a project that you can do together.
Mhm.
You could do it in honor of peace, in honor of remembering that we can have peace even in these situations where we've been programmed that, man, we're always going to be late. We're always late. We're always doing kind of like the same thing and getting the same result, and then wondering why we lose our peace of mind.
Mhm.
So it's okay to start including your daughter in and figuring out how to do something that actually does work for you and does get you to school on time, and feel and see how good that feels to be on time, you know. And yeah, when Wendy's starting to get a little, if you start to notice that you're getting a little hungry/angry, everybody can understand that. Before you say anything to your daughter, before you text her anything, before you give her a call, go ahead and have some food.
Something yummy.
It's not we're not talking rocket science here. It's just we have certain behaviors that we're so used to, certain programming that we're so used to, that we just do it over and over again, instead of remembering, okay, what do I want here? I want peace, right? What was I put on the planet for? To be at this beacon of peace. And so let me find a way to get to this place of peace. And do the little things you can do, the little baby steps you can take. And so just eating before you when you're a little bit hungry/angry, before you make any decision, or before you say anything, that helps you out. I know it. We'll kind of know that. And so and here we're talking about how to replace judgment with forgiveness and gratitude. And so when you start to replace it all behavior, and when you start to see that, you know what, okay, this leads me to a dead end road, let me just forgive myself for simply doing what I've always done. And then let me thank my life experience, because it's only because of my life experience. It's only because I got sick and tired of being late to school. It's only because I got sick and tired of reacting with anger towards my daughter for not cleaning X or Y thing, that I chose another way, that I looked for another way. And so all that life experience has simply brought you to this place here where you can now make better decisions. And that's why we have gratitude towards our life experience. And we let go of our judgments, self-judgments and judgments. Any comments or questions?
I think also it has to do with how fulfilled are we with our life. How fulfilled are we with our, relationships? Hold on, let me put this in do not disturb. Thank you. Yes, because when I'm more content, when I feel more like, nice, at the peace, and I'm happy, something good it's very easy for me to get over, things, situations that are uncomfortable. I'm more easygoing. I will be like, come on, it's hurry up, mommy, dale, I'm waiting in the car, okay? I usually, I will go like that sometimes, but I'm being like lately digging deep into situations from relationships that I'm writing letters of amendment. I'm in step 9, working all alone, and have a sponsor, and doing my amendments. So something was upsetting. I'm still coming into my mind something. I was like, yeah, I have to do that later, but not now, because first is the family. I have to do blood family, and these other couple of things there later. But I was like, no, I really want to rush on this, because it really is upsetting what's going on right there. What has happened? And yeah, it has to do a lot of how we are, what has happened before I stepped into my daughter's room. What was in my mind? What was going on with me? It's not just because, she was late, or, I mean, she was not late, but it's like doing things in her own pace, being a little bit inconsiderate, like I told her. Actually, my upsetness has nothing to do with what she did. Has nothing to do with what, it's because I can still be strict and being saying things without anger. I still can be, dealing with this situation like many times I did, but like how do we do with our students, for example, when sometimes you have to call attention to someone, but you always do it like in a respectful way without being angry, and it happens. Or at work, how do we deal with situations that are uncomfortable? You say, hey, come on, I mean, let's correct that letter, let's type it again, it's okay, I know this has some mistakes, and then we keep on, the piece is kind of like there. So still working, sometimes it's stressful, sometimes we may lose it, but it's very, very little. I think like I remember one lady will say to her husband, why don't you treat me like you treat your people in the office? I see you treat them with so much respect. You speak with them very nice. I can see, how you speak to other people. It's like, I can see the respect. I can see, very like, nice. I wish you could talk to me like that, at home, because she will hear, when he's on the phone, hi, hello, how's your morning? How everything is going? And she said, I wish he could talk to me like that, because sometimes it's I don't know why at home we change sometimes, but yes, has to do a lot with what's going on with us inside.
Yeah, so one thing we can do is, let's say we wake up in the morning, okay? And we want to have a less judgmental day, okay? We always want to set up a goal every day when we wake up. We want to set up some sort of goal that is going to help us grow, heal, and awaken, okay? So in this situation, let us do the following. Let us wake up and say to ourselves, okay, my goal today, before every interaction,
My goal, okay.
is to make forgiveness my constant companion. And so I'm going to walk into every situation. I'm going to walk into every experience hand in hand with forgiveness and compassion. And so before I interact with anybody, before I say anything to anybody, I'm going to remember my goal for every interaction today: forgiveness and compassion, and even peace. Forgiveness, compassion, and peace. These are my goals today. And I'm going to remind myself of my goals today before every interaction. Okay? And then during the interaction, when your mind begins to slip away into the ego's past programs, we're going to remind ourselves of our goal. Okay, my goal. Okay, when I'm talking during the interaction, and I start to feel my peace leaving me. Okay, I'm going to remind myself of my goal. I'm going to use every thought that is less than forgiving, compassionate, or peaceful in nature, not to have me dive deeper into them, but instead to trigger in me the reminder of my goal for today. And then after the interaction, I'm just going to take a little time for myself, and I'm going to see how I did with my goal. Was I forgiving? Was I compassionate? Did I get peace from this? And so you see this 3-step process there. Before you set the goal: forgiveness, compassion, peace. During the interaction, if you start to slip away, forgiveness, compassion, and peace is my goal here. Let me come back. It's like a meditation, you'll come back to the mantra. And then after the interaction, take a few minutes for yourself. Was I forgiving in my words? Were my words forgiving? Were my thoughts forgiving in nature? Were they peaceful in nature? Were they compassionate in nature? Were my thoughts aligned with compassion? Were my words aligned with compassion? Were my actions aligned with compassion? Were my interactions aligned with forgiveness, compassion, and peace? And so that's what you do every single interaction. And then afterwards, you thank whoever was in that interaction. Because why? No matter what they did, no matter what they thought, did, or said, okay? What did they really do? They helped you practice remembering that in any situation, you can walk hand in hand with forgiveness, compassion, and peace. If you have three hands, of course. and so that's what your brother or sister really did for you today. No matter what they said to you, no matter what they did, what they really did was give you an opportunity to remember that in any interaction, in any moment, you can choose forgiveness over judgment. You can choose compassion over condemnation. And so you can choose peace instead of pain. And so if every single brother or sister that you meet today offers you that, what kind of day are you going to have? What kind of light are you going to be for the world? If no matter what your brother or sister does or says, you react through in alignment with your goal, forgiveness, compassion, peace. And so no matter what the world says to you, you stick with your goal. And the more you stick with your goal, the more you remember, wait a second, you know what? I kind of like this this way of being. This kind of way of being feels real and true. This kind of way of being actually brings me what I want. You know, I want to be a beacon of peace for my daughters. You know, I want to be a beacon of compassion and kindness for anybody who comes my way. I want to help them remember who they truly are and who they were created by God to be. And so every interaction is offering you that opportunity. So if everybody is always in reality helping you little by little align with who you truly are, because what happens when you practice? Practice makes perfect. Carnegie Hall. And so whatever you practice, you reinforce and you strengthen inside of you. And then guess what? That behavior becomes more natural and normal to you. And the more natural and normal that behavior becomes, the more you'll react in that fashion. No matter what the outer world does, you react in alignment with source, with love.
Now, in the therapeutic world, for example, someone will ask, has she been always like that? Wendy, your daughter, has she always been like reluctant to take the garbage out? Or it only happened because something happened, because she's upset about you, or something's going on? Because if someone is always reluctant to do something, sometimes it's like the ship, something inside here is loose and they don't get it. They don't get it. They don't have the willingness. They don't see that it's dangerous to live it like that. Doesn't see the balance of doing it, not doing it, the right from wrong. I don't know. So will be good to know that, because sometimes, if it is room that yes, she could be willing, we can pray for the willingness. We can pray. We can ask her, can you please pray for the willingness that you could help on taking your garbage, so I could stop on nagging and making you probably upset as well. Please pray about the willingness to help on, mom, help the house on picking up your garbage on time and stuff. And we can also pray about it. We can also pray that God, please give her the willingness to help.
Can I share my experience?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm not a mom. Actually, I was your daughter in the past. So, but today I manage a group of people. I have 10 employees at the place I manage, and they are like 10 children. I have 10 children. Every morning I say I'm going to the kindergarten because this is how I feel. It's 10 nail technician, so you can know how they came from Cuba, most of them with that mind, and they like to fight, to yell, to do all kind of stuff. And I had this opportunity to manage a group of people like a year ago. After 3 years, I quit. I say, no, this is not for me. I can't, because they don't listen to me. I didn't know what to do. So I quit my job. 1 year later, my boss called me and said, don't you want to come back? You were my best employee, the best manager I ever had. So I said, I know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I was so like, oh my God, should I go back? So I pray a lot during the weekend. I asked for God the answer, and I just felt that that was a place I should go, at least for a while, because I took that as a learning. So I said, okay, now I'm in the kindergarten again. What will I do? So I started to do different. Like, they don't like to take trash out. They don't like to do nothing. Like, I started doing myself. So they started looking at me doing as a manager. And then after that, I started asking for help. They started helping me. Now they do themselves. I don't have to ask anymore. So I think I had to change myself so they can listen to me in every situation. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Show
it's
them humble.
yeah,
Humility.
become yeah, it's a being a kind of like a way shore. You know, we're all here to be like a way shore, right? A way back to remembering who we truly are, right? And so when you lead the way, you become kind of like that beacon of light at the end of the tunnel, you know, of the dark tunnel. Because you see that everybody wants to be in alignment with that light. Knowingly or not, everybody wants peace. Knowingly or not, everybody wants to be happy, right? The thing is that because of their past programming, they don't know how to get to this place of peace, of being useful and helpful. And so when you see that, see it as a call from the universe that it's inviting you to become that way shore, to become that beacon of light. And as you saw in your workplace, when you showed them a light at the end of the tunnel, they followed. They followed. Why? Because they want to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be of service. Because we're here for two primary reasons. We're here to love
Serve.
and to serve, right? And so they want to be of service. It's just that they, in those moments, don't know how. But if you show them a way to be of service, if you show them a way to be useful, that's what we all want. We all want to be useful, you know? And so, yes, sometimes it calls for you to be that light. And people will naturally be, uh, they'll be wanting to go to that place of light, of peace, of being of service. And so, yeah, that's a good example. Any other comments or questions? Okay, I will make another point here. The first line of the first paragraph, it says, today when judgmental thoughts try to enter our mind's gate, let us decline their entry into our kingdom. Okay? Okay, so imagine this is your mind, right? Imagine this is your kingdom, right? But you allow what thoughts come in. Okay? You can allow peaceful thoughts, kind thoughts, loving thoughts, joyful thoughts. When those thoughts come into your mind, you can open up your little gate and let them in, right? And if you let them in, they create little communities inside your mind. So then you have a joyful community, a peaceful community, and my bald head is perfect for that to show this. A kind community, a charitable community. So you have these communities inside your mind. But how do these communities inside your mind, how are they created? By your choice to let them in. Okay? So you are always the gatekeeper. of your mind, which is your kingdom, right? So you have to make the conscious decision to slow down time a little bit, slow it down, take a breath. What thoughts am I allowing into my kingdom right now? Am I allowing judgmental thoughts in? If so, they're going to create a judgmental community inside, you know? Am I allowing frustration thoughts in? They'll create a community. Am I allowing anger and resentful thoughts in? They create their community. And so if you allow those thoughts in, those thoughts that are not in alignment with the truth in you, which is love, then you're going to view the world through a darker lens. And so this dark lens that you're viewing the world through, it's simply because you allowed those judgmental thoughts to come into your mind. And then you fueled them by placing your time, focus, and energy on them. So by putting your time, focus, and energy on judgmental thoughts, that community increases. And then the lens becomes more and more real. And now you see the world through judgment, through anger, through frustration. And so what we want to do is today or tomorrow, when those thoughts that are less than loving in nature start to come in, we stop them. We consciously stop them and say, no, I'm not going to allow a judgmental thought of my brother or sister to come into my mind. No, because that only poisons me. That only poisons my kingdom, my mind. And so now I stop that thought. And how do I stop that thought? First, you recognize that thought does not belong inside of you. If it's not loving in nature, it does not belong inside of you. Stop it, you recognize that, and then you forgive it. I say, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, judgmental thought, but you're not invited in. And so take a hike. and you forgive it. And when you forgive it, that means you spend less and less of your time, focus, and energy on it. And so what happens when you have a judgmental thought? Right here, you have a judgmental thought. If you place more and more of your time, focus, and energy, it becomes a bigger part of your kingdom, right? If you consciously decide to forgive it and no longer spend any more time, focus, and energy on it, it becomes smaller and smaller. And little by little, it dissolves away because you didn't feel it anymore. And so remember, whatever you're experiencing in here, that becomes the lens that you see this world through. And so make the conscious decision, no matter what the ego throws your way, no matter what the judgmental thoughts throws your way, don't allow their entry into your kingdom. Don't allow their entry into your mind. And then the more you do this consciously, the more you start to do it unconsciously. And when a judgmental thought comes of a brother or sister, you're gonna little by little say, no, I don't want that. That has never delivered to me the peace of mind and joy that I want, and the peace of mind and joy that I deserve as God's child in creation. So I'm not going to support a thought or a mindset that does not support me or the peace I want. And so imagine if you start to do that. What would your kingdom, what would your mind be like if you only allowed loving thoughts, compassionate thoughts, kind thoughts, thoughts of mercy and grace and charity and joy to come into your mind? How much would your light shine brighter and brighter each day? And the cool thing is that we have free will. We can open the gate of our minds and kingdom to heaven or hell, to heavenly thoughts or hellish thoughts. And so if you're experiencing a heavenly world, it's because you're allowed heavenly thoughts to come in. And you fuel them with your time, focus, and energy. If you're experiencing a hellish world, it's simply because you have allowed, consciously or not, hellish thoughts to come in. And that's okay. Forgive yourself and say you will no longer feed those thoughts. And so no matter what hellish thoughts you still have within, if you make a conscious decision to no longer feed them, they starve away. And so your peace of mind and your joy is always just one simple decision away. And so remember, as God's child in creation, you are created to be the light of the world. And so only loving thoughts belong within you. And so make a conscious decision to only feel those thoughts. And remember that you have free will, that you have the power to stop thoughts from coming in that do not belong within you. And it's just a matter of practice. It's a matter of slowing down time, slowing down those thoughts that are coming in, recognizing that doesn't belong inside of me. I forgive it, I release it, I let it go. Fear, anxiousness, doubt, that doesn't belong within me. I offer it to God. I say, no, I'm not going to support fear, doubt, anxiousness, worry. I'm not going to support that. I offer it to God. And in doing so, I trust God more. And by doing so, these fear and anxiousness and worries dissolve away. And why did this dissolve away? Because of my choice. We have the power. Those thoughts don't have the power. We have the power. And so take personal responsibility for each and every thought that comes your way. When you remember that you have the power, then that's good news. Because if you did it, you can undo it. If you think the outer world has the power, then you're going to have to change 8 billion people out there. And so, no, you have the power. Not the 8 billion people out there. And so, yes, let us practice that.
That was great, James. I missed the whole probably 20 minutes before that because my daughter walked in the house and I was having to have a conversation with her. But I'm guessing I know what you were talking about. But I do have one question. And if you already addressed this, I apologize. And that is this. Everything that you just described, I seem to do very well with anxiety. My anxiety's been reduced by probably 85% since I started Course in Miracles. With all kinds of things, fear, stuff like that. But when I get resentful or grievance or angry, it's like a lock on my brain. And it's amazing how much I have to fight to get out of that. And it seems much harder than everything else for whatever reason. So is there, and I can't seem to short circuit it, because I can tell you what just happened tonight is an example of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like that's the one place where I don't have that space to slow things down and be like all I need to do is think my grievance hides the light of the world, because I have that. I know that. But when I'm in it, it feels like that is far more powerful. What used to be my anxiety was like that, far more powerful than anything else. Now, that's not powerful anymore the same way. This is powerful, and I don't want it to be. So, do you have some kind of tip or trick or something to short circuit that when it starts?
Your grievances, you mean?
Yeah, like it feels like very strong, like reactivity. It's all reactivity, and it's being re-triggered by the same things.
Okay. So you have these beliefs inside of you. Okay, they live inside of you, right? They live inside of your heart and in your mind. These thoughts of grievance. So these are past programming that you have inside of you. Okay. So all you want to do is you don't want to punish yourself for having those thoughts. Okay. Because when you punish those thoughts that are not even real, you give them power. Okay. And so the more you give them power, the more natural and normal they seem to be. So, this is natural and normal for me to react this way. And so what you simply want to do is you want to practice recognizing when you're starting to feel those thoughts. So just practice recognizing when those thoughts are coming in. Okay. And the more you practice recognizing when those thoughts are coming in, the better you're going to get at recognizing, hey, you know what? These thoughts never delivered to me the peace I want. And so it's just a matter of practice. And so what is really happening? Okay. You're holding this false programming inside of you, right? So what happens when that happens? Your soul calls out to the universe for help and healing. And it says, universe, God, source, can you please let me release these delusions that I am holding within? And the universe, being perfect love, what does he say? He says, of course, I'll help you. And so what happens? You bring into your physical experience, through source, you bring into your physical experience those individuals and situations that you can project this inner experience out into the physical form, right? So those grievances and those people who are producing those grievances, they are actually your unconscious answered prayer. All right? So they're simply helping you practice realizing that what you're seeing in the world, you don't want. And so when you start to recognize that these people here are simply here in my life, or I'm reacting to them in this way in my life because I'm holding these misperceptions inside of my heart and mind. So these people are simply helping me awaken to that, to reminding myself that I can choose forgiveness instead of grievance, and thus I can have peace instead of pain. And so when you start to recognize what those people are really doing for you, what are they really doing for you? They're helping you remember that you're worthy of peace and that you can get to peace through the act of forgiveness and through the act of mercy and grace. And so the more you get to practice remembering that these thoughts of grievance you don't want, the more you start to realize, you know what? Yeah, I can choose forgiveness over this. And little by little, I can have a little more and more peace. And so whenever that happens, don't punish yourself, okay? These are just programs that you've believed in. It's like a little, like, the little fairy tale you read to a child. You read to the child the fairy tale over and over again, they start to believe it. And then they wake you up in the middle of the night and tell you there's a monster in the closet, And so it's just a fairy tale. This behavior, this grievance that you have towards X or Y or Z, it's just something that you were taught, unconsciously or not. And right now you want to undo that. And so these people who are in your presence, who are triggering this, have come here to help you heal. And so if you start to see them as who they really are, as your healers, as your guides to salvation, as your guides to peace, then you're going to have a little more and more compassion towards them and towards your situation. And you start to see, wow, I'm really working on myself now because I brought these triggers in today. And so you pat yourself on the back that you brought in these triggers today, because that's only going to give you an opportunity to practice healing and letting that go. And so if you're bringing these triggers into your experience, what's that? That's a sign that God knows that you're ready to heal. Because God wouldn't bring these people into your life unless you were ready to heal. Okay? And so this situation, which the ego would condemn you for, which the ego would say, no, you're not spiritual enough. That's why you're experiencing this. You're not good enough.
That is what's happening.
Exactly. Yes.
I feel horrible. I feel like, how can I be trying to do all these peace things with my students? I cannot even manage myself at home. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah. And so that feeling is a program. Okay. So now instead of punishing yourself for that, pat yourself on the back. Oh, wow, I brought another opportunity to practice remembering that I can forgive instead of grieve, or have a grievance, and thus I can have peace instead of pain. And so when you start to see that every experience in your life, no matter what it is, and in this case, when the grievances come out, it's just a reflection of God's belief that you're ready to heal, then you'll see the situation in a more loving light. You'll start to see yourself in a more loving light. And you'll start to see how much you're growing. Because you're bringing this into your experience. Why? Because you want to heal this. You want to heal this misperception. And so recognize when they're coming in. Pat yourself on the back. Hey, interesting. I brought this into my experience again. You know what? I've been through the grievance process 100 times before. It's always a dead end road. Let me try something else. How about if I forgive? How about if I offer a little more compassion? No matter what my ego says no, they're not worthy of forgiveness or compassion. That's what the ego is going to say. But you know, you've heard the ego before, and it never delivers to you what you truly want, which is peace and joy. And so, thank you, ego. Place it aside, pat it on his little head, and now see what's really happening. See the gift that God is giving you. This opportunity to let go of these delusions, free yourself from them, and have peace.
Sounds great, James.
Wendy, something that really helped me was it's something very using a bracelet that I can, when the triggers, when I feel that I was going to be triggered, I see a red bracelet and I remember to not do it, like don't react. So I used that for a few times and really worked for me. And someone else told me to do that. So because I know when you are in the situation, you just forget in that moment. And you get mad, you get stressed. And every time when I get home, I think, oh, why I did that? I shouldn't. So I started using a bracelet to remember me to not react.
Thank you. That's a great idea. Actually, I took Kabbalah last year, so I have a whole bag of those bracelets. I'll just have to go find them. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, you can even make your own bracelet where that says something like, "I can choose peace instead of this. I can shift my grievances to forgiveness and thus get peace." Or you can make your own bracelet, you know, to help you.
Also, a good idea. Yeah, it would be nice to have a bracelet that said peace. That would be a very good reminder.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying for your school, for your kids, you know, I can choose peace instead of this, you know.
Yeah, I teach them that, and they're right. You know, one of them just wrote me to say that she told it to her boyfriend, who's not in my class, because he's having problems with his family. And he said it's really working for him with a big exclamation point. So I feel so happy when when I see that it's doing something. But then when something like this happens, what just happened to me, I'm like, I'm a fraud. Why am I trying to tell other people what to do? I can't even, be peaceful myself. It's, you know what? That's a ridiculous, it's not an all or nothing proposition. I'm certainly much more peaceful than I was when I started. So I definitely have the ability to teach the kids how to do better with anxiety, because I'm doing much better with mine. Because of you guys.
I'm sorry, what?
I said because of you guys, because of this group. That is why I'm so much better, why my anxiety has dropped this way, because of this group. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We're gonna send you the bill.
All right. I'll wait for it.
I need a bill too.
Okay. Any final comments or questions before we close?
Just thank you.
All right.
Something that I can share with you, Wendy, James was saying, let's make our goal every day about making forgiveness my constant companion. He said, walk hand in hand with forgiveness and compassion. At every situation that we will encounter, think about forgiveness and compassion. Be with that in mind, make it a goal that at every situation that's triggering you in the family or outside, in any place, think that you are walking hand in hand with forgiveness and compassion.
Oh, I cannot
Like-
thank you enough for telling me that I missed that, because I was talking to my daughter. That's like, I'm going to write that one down. That's a James thing that I got to write down, because that's a really
A
good,
goal. Yeah.
really good. And the
Like
imagery.
setting our intention, and when we wake up, This
Yeah.
is my goal for today, you know.
Make
Hand by
forgive-
hand, and let's see how it goes. I'm gonna make me a bracelet right there.
I-
Forgiveness and compassion.
Thank you, Isabel. That is like maybe the best thing from the whole night, and I missed it, but now you made sure I didn't miss it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
remember,
thank you, Valkyria, about the bracelet, because I wanna make me.
I remember that this video is up
Wendy.
always the next day at 5 p.m. in my YouTube channel. So if you want to go over it, you can see it.
I
Yeah.
forgot to have it on YouTube. My brain just drops things like, you call your thing to remember, and I'm like, I don't remember half the stuff I hear, but that's it. It would be better if I could forget my grievances and remember what you said.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all sessions are available the next day at 5 p.m. in the YouTube channel if you want to check it out again. All right. Any final comments or questions before we close? All righty. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
for
Thank
coming.
Bye.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary.
Thank you, love. Thank you for the bracelet idea. Thank you for everything. Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.